Hello to my Pisces. All right, Pisces, let's get right into it. All right, Pisces, we are steps away from the full moon in Leo. This reading is for the 8th or 9th, and the 15th and 16th, depending on when you see the video. All of the videos are timeless. So let's get into it. The overarching theme for the full moon in Leo is going to be go where you're appreciated and not where you're tolerated. Go where you're appreciated, not where you're tolerated. But we found out in that last full moon in Cancer that we have that a lot of people, when you're just simply trying to nurture yourselves, going into hermit crab shell mode, that people create all kinds of stuff, right? They create all kinds of stuff. So it's just saying, don't be one of them. Don't fall into that trap of, listening to rumors and gossip and just going along with the flow, right? Of people creating stuff, right? So it says keep creating. All right. So I am deserving of all the good in my life. There it is. I'm deserving of all the good in my life, right? So yeah, you don't want to loop yourself into karmic relationships by responding to gossip from other people, and you don't really know. Usually people who are familiar with, people who like to gossip, those kind of things, and people believe anything they hear and all this other mess. They don't even realize they're roping themselves into other people's karma. They don't even have a clue. But let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get an angel number and let's get into your reading. This is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. Your number. This is a journey, long game, so 833. There's two karmics right now that are in your ear that's pretty much talking about their past, right? It's two karmics that's talking about their past in their karmic relationships, right? So when we're talking about fire energies, these are two energies in your ear right now. 3 looks like lips when you turn it to the side. They're talking, right? And with their karmic relationships. And on one hand, they're saying to you, stay focused. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. But on another hand, they're not there. You are aware a light has been shown on that they have something in common with you, and that these are karmic relationships, right? So a light has been shining on something. So long game. This is a journey. Your angels are encouraging you to have faith in divine timing. The new balanced habits you formed are not temporary. They are meant to be implemented for the rest of your journey on this earth plane. So reflect now on how your mindset can shift to better accommodate your new routines. Let go of any timeline you may have that is not attached to better habits you've gained recently. Things will play out as they should, right? Things will play out as they should. Fire, in order for fire to start, you have to have several components. Dry things rubbing together, creating some kind of friction, but you also have to have air, right? So who you're talking to, who you're listening to, who you're giving your air to is very important. You're talking about detaching from karmic relationships. Yeah, detaching from karmic relationships. This solar plexus chakra is also at the lower of the chakras. So you want to make sure you're not aligning yourselves with people who are somehow still connected to their karmic past, right? So that would be like connecting with people who are still talking about their ex in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and somehow looping you into this number 8. So you're tied up into their karma. So you'll learn. Somebody will learn that you're able to get focused on your own without aligning yourself with energies who are on the dark side of number 3. Let's get into it. So you want to stay on the light side of 3. All right, let's go. There it is. Death card. A Scorpio involved in something. A Scorpio that's involved in something from, so there could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius involved in something, because we're talking about fire here. That's in karmic, some kind of karmic tie with something. So you're deserving of all the good in your life, right? So source is saying, instead of you looking for somebody to save you, the savior resides within. So you've learned, some of you all have learned how to save yourself on the rebirth side, but not attaching yourselves to people who are familiar with certain people, and they're in a karmic relationship with really themselves, and they spend a lot of time, source is saying, investing in you treating you like they're saving you from something, because what you're going to start listening to are those energies that's talking to you in your ear, saying that they save somebody that you have an emotional attachment to, because that same kind of conversation is going to mirror what they tell other people about you. So that's what Source is trying to tell you, is that you're good of all, you're deserving of all the good in your life. And here we also have the three of, so I definitely feel like you and somebody are soulmates. Soulmates is not always mean romantic. It can mean kindred spirits, right? You and somebody are definitely kindred spirits. That some energies are trying to create friction between, and I keep seeing this come out, trying to create friction between you and somebody. I feel like a brother or sister, maybe two sisters, maybe two brothers, but some energies are in people's ear trying to create friction between those energies. Give it no air whatsoever, none, not even to the energies that are talking to you, because the roots run real deep around money. Something having to do with money. So if energies are spending that much time obsessing over money, there's a hidden agenda. Well, it's not even hidden anymore. It's wide open. A light has been shined on it, and you're going to see it more and more as we get closer and closer to this full moon in Leo. Who has an agenda? Who has an agenda? So that would be like somebody, constantly comparing you and somebody else. Watch their videos. Go drive by their house and watch their house. Go watch this. Go watch that. Like, go take a picture of this. And they just, just obsessing over something. They're sending you several messages. One of the messages that people are sending you when they constantly want you to watch something over and over and over again, is it telling you you're watching somebody who is great? Someone that's like, people do that when they're saying, young artists started studying the greats who have already transitioned, who have already passed on. They're already saying to you, the plan is that energy has already passed on. So now is your time up next. Okay, so it's time to get ready. You got to study. You got to study. But it's also saying to you, without saying, that they don't believe in the greatness in you. Why aren't they sharpening that? Right? So Source is saying to you, those same energies will come back at some point in time to collect from you. And so Source is saying you're starting to learn how to pay attention and get focused. So whereas some people are saying, oh, somebody ran away, we tried to train them, we tried to help them, and they didn't. That was a lie. That's a lie. We tried to help them. We tried to save them, but they kept running away from something. That is a lie. They saw something. They heart chakra. Remember we talking about the heart chakra. There's something they didn't have in common. It says, nah, these energies are doing something to get rid of. There's some energies are sacrificing some energies just so they can put energies that's going to go along with the flow in something. So you're learning. The roots run real deep. So somebody not only has your back in helping you, but somebody has also been lying about you behind your back. You'll know exactly through prayer. Through prayer. For some of these energies, what you're learning, Pisces, that when people don't go along with the flow, they end up somehow gone, sacrificed, right? So create the friction first. Okay, create the friction. And so somebody is now learning those seeds run real deep in terms of how people are growing their money. Life insurance policies. Somebody is waking up. So you have a lot of expansion coming your way, right? There's one energy in particular you're definitely not going back to. And one of it is you're not looking for somebody to save you. That's one. That's a whole mindset you're not going back to. You're not looking for somebody to save you. You have greatness in you. You don't need to copy off of somebody. No, none of that. You don't need to steal anybody's ideas. None of those things. You have water that you can tap in yourself. You don't need to get rid of somebody, ruin their business, tell lies. You don't need to do none of that stuff in order for you to that's what Source is saying, the long game. Just like other people invested in creating, building their brand, Source is going to do the same thing for you. Just like people spend hours building their brand, investing in themselves. Source is saying you have time to get away from certain energies it is time for you to get away from certain energies. Because just like they did other people to lie behind their back, they'll lie behind yours. And you will find out eventually. You will find out eventually. So a lot of information is traveling. A lot of information is traveling. So source is saying to you, you want to travel, you want to get out there, you want to do some things. And so there's a lot of, like I said before, you know, you got soulmate energy who have always been used as pawns as well. Saying that they're argumentative, what they say come back and bite them later, you know, those kind of things. So source is saying get some rest so you can stay focused, because a light is being shined on some things, right? You have a loved one on the other side, someone who died, who is going to show you very clearly what in the world is going on. So let's see what information we have. So remember, light workers, we're just shining a light on something that you already know. Those energies are going to make you feel like you're being judged, or that you're judging other people. And so somebody has found your weak spot. Somebody has found your weak spot. Meaning that these energies, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, somebody knows that your weak spot is feeling judged by your water, your sex life, your emotional state. Like somebody has found out that you don't like being judged. And that's exactly what some energies are playing on, saving your reputation. So what do we got to do? We got to ruin somebody else's reputation to make you feel better, to put you in the light. But when it's time, when you finally get focused and saying you getting tired of being used as a pawn, and you're going to hear the same thing. You're hostile, you're argumentative, you're so on and so forth. You're all these things that people hear in the personal and professional life. So you're learning. Somebody is learning to sit down somewhere and meditate. Pray and meditate. But you won't be going, I'm telling you, remember, time is relative. You will not be going back to friction, feeling like you gotta, one up somebody in order for you to create. There is no one like you. That's what somebody is learning. You don't have to get video footage, pictures, team up with people, to grow your money, to cut their money, to grow your, you don't have to do any of those things. It's enough to go around for everybody. Some energies are just obsessed with replacing people, right? And a light is shining on that. Yeah. The sunlight is shining on that bright, right? As soon as people start being open books, they start getting ideas. Oh, they're open book. They telling, we got ideas where we can grow our money. Okay, let's see if this person gonna go along with the program, go along with the plan. If they don't go along with the plan, we just gonna get rid of them. I mean, like, wow, right? So you got some good news coming across your path, and about some deep feelings about something. But it's two situations. Something from an ex is trying to return. That's one, right? Not just because it's Valentine's Day, but something from an ex is trying to return. Somebody who says something very emotionally immature to you, an ex trying to return for you, that's going to be a no. But something new is coming across your path. It could be a younger person that was influenced, that some kind of downloads are coming through to you, that they're not with the program either, because their emotions run just as deep as your emotions run when it comes to loving you. So something has already backfired. I'm telling you, you don't have to copy somebody else's flow. You don't have to be on that program because being used as a pawn. This person got all these ideas. Let's steal the ideas. So I said you would be pulling out the sword and cutting. And people are going to say, wait a minute. Why are you not talking to me anymore? How come you cut me off? Because if you would do that to them and you say you love them, you would turn around and do the same exact thing to me. That's exactly what your mindset is going to be as far as loved ones are concerned. If you would do that to them, somebody you say you love, wait a minute. I'm not an airhead. I got my own brain. I can create on my own. You're going to do the same thing to me. It's only a matter of time. As soon as I not with the program of not being used as a pawn, or if I speak back or say something back, you're going to do the same thing to me. If we have an argument, you'll do the same thing that you did to me. See, the problem is with a lot of people, Pisces, a lot of people think they're going to outsmart the devil. Right? But everybody is in human flesh. And so sources say it's free will. The enemy is very crafty, right? You have found your star. That's how you find your star. That is how you find your star. So yeah, you and somebody are back in the saddle again, and people are feeling some kind of way about it. They feeling some kind of way about it. Like, you know what? If they would do that to them, somebody that I love and I have something in common with, they have all these great ideas and light bulbs are going off my head. They're not seeing me as competition. They're an open book. They're not gatekeeping information. These energies would do the same thing to me. What in the world am I thinking? Let me get my head screwed. Let me get my light bulb screwed on straight, right? Yeah, that's how you're learned. That's how you find your star. Hard work. You can't even escape it. It's hard work. You do the inner work. You do the inner spiritual work. You work on your shadow self, just like other people work on their shadow self. That's how you find your star. You get to a place where you know your worth so well, you don't care whether you're invited to stuff or not invited to stuff. You're not trying to just be a part of any old thing just because somebody is saying, especially when the light is being shined on what you have to do, like the sacrifice that you have to be. So you're deserving of all good things in life. People who don't see people as competition are not gatekeep. They are not to gatekeep information. They don't need to. They don't need to get rid of one in order to make somebody else shine. They don't need to try to dim one light in order to make somebody else's light shine. I mean, what I'm saying to you is common sense when you think about it. There's more than one star shining in the sky. They're not competing with each other. They all lighten up the sky in their own way. So you all are psychics by default. If you go back and watch the previous videos, I talked about the different types of psychic energies. You could be clairvoyant. Somebody else could be clairaudient. Guess what? Y'all are both lighting up the sky. In your group of people, you can have all of these energies who are not just become somewhat familiar. They're actually putting the hours of work in. They're doing the work. They're investing in themselves to sharpen their things. In hermit mode, they're testing themselves in hermit mode, getting downloads. In hermit mode, they're away from all of that chaos and confusion and you're better than this person and the chaos. So people can come back and say if it wasn't for you, then trying to restrict people. Finding ways to try to restrict people, meaning like, y'all, we're gonna stop them from talking to each other. We're gonna create some kind of chaos for them to stop talking to each other. We gotta find some way to restrict somebody so they'll stop talking. It's a man and woman that's behind something. So, but something for you is gonna feel like home. They're somebody trying to restrict somebody, saying that they're responsible for something, and somebody feels bullied in between all of this. Somebody feels bullied. So 6 and 4 is 10. So yeah. That's what source is saying. It's something you're not going back to because to see you being booked and busy, not burdened and bitter, you're learning how to adapt. It's like 3 strikes, maybe 1, 2 strikes, somebody's out, you finally moving on because you're just tired of being bullied. Basically, it's somebody's way or the highway. Do it this way. Watch everything. Study this. Do it this way. Like you can't even put your own. Even artists who are told to watch videos of legends that have passed on or whatever the case may be, they still are able to pay homage to it. Like we see videos of like. There's a video of like Michael Jackson giving James Brown his flowers while he was still alive. He was basically like, if it wasn't for you, I studied your moves. I did basically giving him his flowers. There was no gatekeeping there, none. In that scenario, he was able to just tell a person, okay, yeah, I really, really like your style. I really studied your style. 2 greats right there. I think Prince was in the audience. You had 3 greats right there. So sources saying, well, everybody in the audience was great, but y'all know what I'm saying. Some people, that's how they grow their money. That's how people grow their money. Because somebody wouldn't go along with the flow. Okay, let's get rid of that energy. But you accept you and somebody have a guardian angel. They're saying, no, that's not how it's going to go. That's not how it's going to go. Nobody being restricted. You got your gifts, they have theirs. So, yeah, that's how you win, right? That's how you win, right? And don't feel like you're depressed, back up against the wall, being forced. I got to do something, and these feelings run deep. All of this, but from familiar spirits. So yeah, creating a bunch of chaos and confusion. So you're initiating some kind of conversation. You're initiating some kind of conversation. And this conversation first is going out to Source through prayer. That's the conversation you're initiating. Thank you, Source. Thank you for my unique gifts. There's greatness in me. I don't need to compete with anybody else. I don't have to say anything negative about anybody. Let me take these blindfolds off. and notice that I'm talking to people's exes, just like my exes did the same thing to me. That's you, just like everybody else. Your exes did the same thing to you. Same thing. That's what you have in common with somebody. Exes did the same thing to you. They try to play your kids against you. They try to play other people against you. Got close to family members. And you're like, how in the world are your own family siding with your ex against you? What planet is that happening on? Y'all are waking up. Somebody is finally coming out of a trance and saying, there is no way. Like, if you're sitting there and your ex has somehow manipulated your parents to come against you, or loved ones to come against you, and you're participating in something like that, your mind is now like, okay, now wait a minute. Hold on. I know, you don't care how much of an issue you have with your siblings, your parents, or whatever. There's no way on the planet you're going to side with their enemies against them. Oh, no. That's an instant return to sender. That's an instant return to sender. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing here in your cards. That's what I'm seeing here in your cards. Yeah, you're looking back and just like, now that something is over, it didn't even make any sense. These two exes were just doing the absolute most. That's what you have in common. That is what you have. That's what a lot of people have in common. A lot of people have in common. That's like the ex-love interest who they haven't figured out that the relationship is over, Pisces. So they keep coming around. They keep coming. They come to cookouts. They come to, hey mom, hey dad. The relationship been over. I mean, they make comedic movies about it, but that stuff is very real. And they're like, oh, well, this is like my son or daughter-in-law. While they sitting there soaking up all the information about the new person, what's been going on in your life, just crazy. Doing the absolute. There's no way. If it's over, it's over. If it's over, it's over. There's no way. That's how people can manipulate people's families. They're like, oh, they don't get along, and who in the family that we can just go along with the program. We can create some kind of friction or chaos and confusion. Family members, they just sitting there. Oh, they looking for the money. So it's the same. You removing yourself right from an equation. Because I'm telling you, that is an instant return to sender. Instant return to sender. And a lot of people are just now snapping out of a trance. Oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking. Liberation. That's right. So the doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe anymore that they're you, because they're not. They're not. This green right here, loved ones, connects you with the heart chakra. Your head and heart was at war with each other, but not anymore. It was at war with each other, not anymore. You got family members who will date their own family members. Just somebody is learning. Yeah. Nothing will come of the situation. There it is. Nothing will come of the situation. So it's just trying to help somebody to clear up any confusion in your own spirit, right? Step out of your comfort zone and get into your North Node. 10th house, MC, medium coli. People who are not threatened don't have a problem sharing information. They don't have to be sneaky. They don't have to create, this and that, to go sneak and look and all 8 hours a day studying this and that while the person's still alive. We have deep breathing. Child, these people are a mess. Woo, child, a whole mess. Whew, plotting and planning. But again, source is just trying to help you to see you got a lot of good. You have a lot of goodness coming across your path. That's what I'm saying. Two energies were trying really hard to restrict you and trying to restrict someone else by creating friction and chaos and confusion. But what people weren't relying on here, somebody across a body of water, because we're talking about water here. What people don't rely on with the Two of Swords is your third eye. Your third eye is open. Even with your blindfolds on, your ancestors are in your ear. Like, what the heck? Your ancestors are probably in your dreams, like, with their hands on their hips, looking at you like, now we got to stop this madness. That's a generational curse that you've been put on here to break. That's what it's saying. You and somebody have been put here to break generational curses of all of this. How dare you let somebody come in between? That's where you got this, right? Somebody who transitioned. They're like, what in the world is happening here? You don't see these energies are trying to create some friction. These are karmics. These are two karmics trying to create some kind of friction by talking to you. One has succumbed to passive and powerless behavior. The other one is egotistical, materialistic, and forceful. In other words, one is the bully and one is being bullied. One is the ventriloquist doll, and the other one is sitting on his lap with his hands in his back. So Source is saying you need to get real clear about who you are talking to in terms of your purpose. Your sun sign, your MCIC, your, that's what Source is trying to help somebody to do. Yeah. You're not aligning with karmics. So they going through karmic stuff. Everybody going to do karmic stuff together. So it's like, no, you need to get in hermit mode. You need to get in hermit mode and let Source download some information to you about your specific gifts that's going to help you to help light up the sky with everybody else. Help light up the sky. That's what's going to help the entire world, really help everybody's world. It's like, oh no, your gifts are here, somebody else's gifts are there. That's why you got so many readers online, because people are watching readers. I get this. I need some more information from this one. Nobody's offended. People go watch different readers. People go see. People have different readers. They have different psychics. They go see a psychic in their neighborhood. They may call somebody on the phone. Nobody's getting offended except energies who are benefiting from. That's where the devil is in the detail, where big people are benefiting from the infighting. So if this one doesn't go along with the flow and help grow money, we're going to get rid of somebody, sacrifice them, and put somebody right in their place. And some family members are not even waking up till they still sleep. Still sleep. So Source is saying you feel liberated. You and somebody actually feel liberated. It's like, But that's what I'm seeing for you all. Pisces, continue growing, continue flourishing. Like I said, you are deserving of all the good in your life. It's just doing shadow work and putting the work in. That's right. Everybody has gifts. Everybody has gifts. It's what you choose to develop in your gifts that's going to really, really grow. So it's just trying to help you to come out the flesh of thinking people are judging you or thinking that you're judging them. That is generational. That's one of the oldest tricks in the game from the devil. And the devil is not a person, so we're crystal clear. You don't need to demonize people. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.